Hey everyone, it's Rain. Hope you're having a great day. As promised, I said if the commander updates got up to 15 likes, I would give a more in depth view. So, this is Sarulf Realm Eater deck. It's one of my very first decks that I've ever built. One of the ones I'm actually really proud about. Especially because it's really straightforward in what it does. It's just rude. It's a green black. He obviously, I don't have any type of familiar ties to any type of a clan or group in the game. For this deck at least, it's more of a ramp and destroy. He gets bonuses by other people's creatures or permanents going into the graveyard from the battlefield. And at the start of my turn, I can take off all of the +1/+1s and exile all non-land permanents other than Sarulf from the field with a mana cost equal to or lower to the number of +1/+1s that I take off. That's why it's really rude. Honestly, it's a lot of fun. I do have a couple of groupings to go through here, as you can see. Various things. I'll go over them in a little bit of detail. That way we can actually get a little bit more of an understanding. Starting off with the easy ones, this pile right here. We have our Cultivate, Open the Gates, Grow from the Ashes, Thirsting Roots, Circuitous Root, District Guide, and this lovely little guy, Loot Exuberant Explorer. Allows me to play an additional land. From what you can see, all of these allow me to add additional land to the field or give me a little bit of extra boost to bring in some of the bigger creatures. Over in this pile, we have our frontline, just generally big defensive guys, like the Aggressive Mammoth, who's wonderful, gives trample, including all my other creatures I control have trample. As this creature enters, choose a color whenever I can gain life from him. With artifacts, he gets bigger. Other creatures I control of a certain type, I get +1/+1. I use him for Hydras because I do have a handful of Hydras in the deck. And he pairs well with Roaming Throne as well. Again, just a couple of really big creatures. This one gives me life and card draw. You got some reach protection. And another fun one, the Vaultborn Tyrant. Gives me card draw, gives me life, and when he dies, he creates a copy of himself that's a token. So, very useful for sure. We have a couple more piles here. I'm going to go through the easy ones first because they're nice and fast to explain through. The next one here is our land draw, essentially. These are not land draw, but tap for mana or gain life. Very nice and useful. I get some Skyclave relics. It creates 2 tokens that are a copy of itself. And again, gives yourself some green mana. This one doesn't give me green mana. It summons an elemental. Kind of could have put it in this pile, but put it in here because it does have a plot ability as well. And again, tap an untapped creature you control, add 1 mana of any color. Really nice and straightforward so far. It's mostly just helping the bigger things and more difficult things to get out. I want to have a lot of mana ramp, so especially when I get into the Hydras, which we'll go into the next. The +1/+1s in the Hydras. As you can see, as I pull them out, you'll see a lot of them will have +1/+1 abilities, +1/+1. My Roaming Throne, which we'll throw in with the Hydras as well, because it doubles Hydra abilities. And then, once you start seeing the Hydras are rather big, we have Hydra's Broodmaster, we have Hero's Bane, which is a lovely Hydra, Gold Vein Hydra, which gives us some treasure tokens when it dies. He has nice little wards, so he also is a nice little addition because at the beginning of my end step, if a creature died this turn, put a counter on him, which triggers some of the other ones. We'll come back to that one. We have Protean Hydra, Another X cost one, which is lovely because it gets a big boost to it. And yeah, additional abilities when Hydras get +1/+1s, or when another one, especially on this one, whenever a 1/1 counter is removed, put 2 counters on it the next step. So basically, he's immortal until you do enough damage to kill him. And if you do it right, you can get some big boosts. I even have the Hydra Trainer in here because it gives target creatures I control. You may exert Hydra Trainer as it attacks. When you do, target creature gets +X until end of turn, where X is the number of counters on permanents you control. Which, with some of these Hydras, can be pretty lot, especially with Sarulf. Because I've gotten him up to like +20. So you add that to that, when all of a sudden your Hydra becomes like a +20. We have the Mossborn Hydra, which is shiny. Trample, enters with a +1/+1 and landfall. Also half the reason for those other landfall cards in there. Gives that a nice boost. And the last Hydra, Wildwood Scourge, enters with the X +1/+1s. And whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on another non-Hydra creature, put a +1/+1 on him. Again, every time a permanent a creature or an opponent controls is destroyed, he gets a +1. +1. +1, +1, +1, +1. We all get that. Next, we have Gorix the Tomb Shell, the last one in this pile. As an additional cost to cast the spell, you may exile any number of creatures or cards from your graveyard. It costs 2 less to cast, which is lovely. And he has Death Touch, and whenever he attacks or dies, choose a random card, exiled, and put it back into my hand. So I can cast it for a really low cost of just 2 black, have a whole bunch of cards I want to bring back, and all I have to do is keep them alive and attack with them. Pretty broken. That all said, all depends if Sarulf pops off or not. Because if he pops off, does not matter, because all of those X1s only have a mana cost of 1, technically, no matter how much you spend on it. So they go bye-bye real fast. But for building him up, it's a fantastic tool. Next, we have our little bit of tricky cards here. So it's really normal type of simple stuff. Give yourself, look at the top card of your library at any time. You may cast creatures, and you may spend mana of any type, which is really useful. And yeah, this is more of the tricky spot. We have some of our more annoying cards. Sorry, I'm getting used to this. We have one I really like, Unnatural Growth here. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control until end of turn. So again, get some of those big Hydras, those big 10/10s. Next thing you know, it's a 20/20 when it's swinging at you. We have Canker Bloom, which was a gift card, which I really appreciate. Sacrifice, choose one, destroy a target artifact or enchantment, or proliferate. The proliferate is broken when we have a lot of +1/+1s to give around. Expand the sphere. Also another one allows us to bring in some more land. I guess that should have been in the other one, but it's because it also gives us proliferate. That's why it's in this pile. Give ourselves some card draw. And also gives creatures trample, which is lovely. Give ourselves a +3/+3. Predator Ooze was a late addition. I will say, again, this is one of the first decks I built. I have revamped it a lot, like all of the Hydras and a lot of these other cards. Really new. This one is one of them. Indestructible. Really love it. Whenever he attacks, put a +1/+1. Comes in, just starts annoying people, gets bigger, boosts some of the other cards. Kind of like Agent Frank Horrigan. Just like the Canker Bloom, he was a gift card from a good buddy of mine. He's indestructible as long as it's attacked. And he gets to proliferate twice when he comes in or attacks. Also, this is a lovely little saving moment because you play this, you get a +7/+7. Next thing you know, people are fearful for any creature you throw it on. So yeah, these are a little bit more of the tricky cards. And then the last real aspect of this deck to go through, it's a really nice and simple one. It's this last pile here. It's got the Artisan of Kozliak on top. And that's a good reason for it because he and most of the cards in here are going to do things with destroying and or sending to the graveyard. And I am so sorry for that view. I'm doing this with literally one hand on the phone, one hand open. I'll figure out a better setup eventually. Until then, I apologize. And yeah, again, most of this is just going to be things like Annihilator 2. When this creature enters, other opponent's creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. And whenever a creature and opponent dies, that player loses 2 life. So, lovely things like this. Sacrifice an artifact or enchantment. Return things from my graveyard to the battlefield. Return target creature from your graveyard to the battlefield. Flying Death Touch Lifelink. Gives +1 bonus for every card type among graveyards. Opponent's control, yeah. Death Touch, obvious there. Ooh, he's a new addition that's really fun. Death Rattle Oni. Flash, costs 2 less for each creature that died this turn. And destroy all other creatures that were dealt damage this turn. I figured if I get wiped out and I need to do something and I have 1 black and he's in my hand, boom, all the things that wiped me out just get destroyed. And again, return from graveyard to hand. And Reach and Death Touch, another one of those self-explanatories there. Another fun one, the Gravewalker. Permanent, it comes on, flying, and I get to return card from my graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Plus, we also have Toxic and Proliferate here from our rat. Some lovely cards. Again, another one, Revenant. Sorry. He comes in with power and toughness equal to the number of creature cards in my graveyard. Worm Coil Engine. When he dies, he splits into 2 tokens and becomes good defenders. And even this one. Gain Death Touch and draw a card. It's a very simple type of aspect. It's to make people regret attacking me or doing things. Because then I just bring things back, give myself some Proliferate, give myself some Death Touch and must be blocked. And I can even bring it back from the graveyard. Tribute to the Hungry again. Another sacrifice. Which would boost Sarulf. Even this one. Sacrifice it, return a target creature from my graveyard to my hand. Enchant creature or planeswalker you control. When it dies or is put into exile, return that card to the battlefield under your control. Really lovely card when you mix it with Sarulf, because literally you have a big creature you want to keep alive or something you don't want to lose. You throw that on it, it comes right back. I'm not going to go through the lands because it's a lot of basics and just a couple of split colors. Nothing too crazy there. This command tower. One thing you'll notice is I didn't show an Arcane Signet or a lot of the normal mana rocks. I only have a handful of them. So I don't have one for each of my decks, which is crazy. I know. But maybe one day. But that's the first full update on the Commander decks. If you guys get the next one up to let's say 20 likes, nice and simple, we'll do the second video. Or if this video gets up to 20 likes, if you guys get it up to something crazy and it gets a whole bunch of views and gets up to a lot of likes, I will just start doing these on a regular. Otherwise, appreciate you guys spending some time with me and hope you have a great day. Thanks. Bye.